Our Collision 2017 coverage is proudly powered by Monster Products. Find the headphones and speakers that match your style at PLUGHITZlive.com/monster. So our next guest is here. Hello.
Hi.
Go ahead and introduce yourself for us.
So my name is Teresa Summerlin, and I'm a solutions consultant with a company called Belay, B-E-L-A-Y.
And your badge is a different color than most of the people that we talk to. So you guys are probably out of the early startup phase.
We are. We're about 6.5 years old.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so not quite startup, but we serve a lot of startups.
Okay. So this is a good place for you to be. And
It is.
And a good audience for you to be in front of.
It is, and it's our first time participating in Collision.
Cool.
So,
Really?
Yeah, it's been
Wow.
super exciting.
It's a really, really interesting event, isn't it?
It is.
We were literally just talking about that before you came on.
Yes, yes. So what, do you know what a belay is, by the way?
No,
Have
Okay.
no idea.
Okay,
but I think you're going to tell me.
I am.
Fantastic.
Do you do any mountain climbing, rock climbing, anything, rappelling, any?
I host a technology show.
Okay.
So
In your spare time. Okay. So if you've ever even watched a commercial, maybe with some extreme sports, you'll see the person climbing, maybe attached to the side of the rock.
Sure.
And then you see the person under that person managing the ropes and the clips.
Yes.
So what they're doing is they're making sure that that person that is climbing is secure and safe
Yes.
so that they can go higher. That person is a belay.
Okay.
So you'll hear the climber saying, belay on. So you're asking, do you have me? Belay. And the belay
Okay.
will say, on belay, meaning I'm on, go ahead. So
Okay.
what we do is support individuals and organizations so that they can climb higher.
Okay.
Wow.
That is a belay.
That's awesome.
That is a great name.
We rebranded this year, January 3rd, 2017.
Okay. So fairly recently.
Yes.
For 6.5 years. Fairly recent.
Yes.
Okay.
So prior to January 3rd, we had 5 different entities operating as 5 different companies. We took all of the service lines, consolidated, and rebranded as Belay.
Okay.
Okay.
So the primary service line is virtual assistant. So we're actually an outsourced staffing solution.
Okay.
Okay. So particularly important to a startup because many times they need support.
Right.
They need something somebody or something they can scale with, right? And that's what we do is support the workflow of an entrepreneur or the workflow of a CEO, et cetera.
Sure.
Or, of course, support a particular function where there might be a gap in productivity or just a gap in support.
Sure. And being a company that is focused on, or at least has a focus on startups, works with a lot of startups, you're going to know the oddities of working with startups compared to a K-Force or a big that works with Boeing, right? Yeah.
Right.
Because Boeing's troubles and a startup's troubles are unrelated to one another.
Right.
Right, I agree. And one of the things that we have found, again, because we do serve a lot of entrepreneurs, is because entrepreneurs grow up wearing many different hats. You've done it all, right? So typically, they're not the best delegators in the world. So what happens when you get to the end of yourself? You have to delegate in order to be able to grow. So that's one of the things that we've recognized, and one of the areas that we do a lot of coaching around with our clients. So not only do we provide the virtual assistant, let's say, but we also provide a team member to work with the client to help them be a better leader.
Okay.
So in other words, coaching around delegation or coaching around effective communication. So those are 2 things that entrepreneurs typically need a little coaching, need a little help.
Okay. Is this
I
done
have
through
seen it-
video? Or
Done through video. So when you're working with one of our solutions, and again, we can go to virtual assistant, we could go to bookkeeper because we have virtual bookkeepers, we have virtual content writers, and virtual webmasters. Okay. But you're working with an individual. So if I were, for example, if I were your VA, I might be in Atlanta and you may be in New Orleans, right?
Sure.
We'll meet via WebEx. We particularly use a platform called Zoom,
Okay.
that you will work and you will speak with and interact with your VA, all via technology.
Oh, wow.
But she is an individual. She's not a robot.
It is. We're not talking to Cortana. We're talking to a person who just happened to not be in the room with you.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So interestingly, though, our entire corporate team, and there are 81 of us on the corporate team now, okay, we're all virtual, 100%.
Okay.
So we just, can I plug? We just got the #1 cultural award from Entrepreneur Magazine.
Well, congratulations.
So think about that. You know, we have a virtual culture,
Yeah.
and we were just recognized for that. So it's been amazing. Our leadership team is extremely concerned and passionate about growing our culture and maintaining the culture that we've grown.
Sure.
So 100%.
Which can be very difficult as you grow.
Right. Not only as you grow, but then as you grow virtually.
Yeah.
Right.
So all of the best practices that we have recognized over the course of the 6 years, we bring that to our client base as well to
Sure.
help them. Many, many people are growing their organizations virtually as well today.
Okay. So let's say I'm starting up a company and I need some help. How much does something like that cost me?
Well, it's good. No, it's going to depend.
Okay.
Because what we offer, again, is a very unique solution
Yeah.
based on
Right.
what your needs are. But let's say, for example, because what we offer is scalable, so you can contract with us for as few as 5 hours a week,
Okay.
or roughly 20 hours a month.
Okay.
And you know, to some that would be nothing but an irritant. To others, that would be a lifesaver.
Right.
Right. So what we want to do is first of all, identify exactly what we're going to be doing for you, at least on the onset. So what underbrush are we going to clear out? What low-hanging fruit are we going to address? And then, of course,
Because
the
especially in the
engagement.
beginning, that's a great place to start. Get the little things that are obvious,
Right.
and help solve those so that the entrepreneur can deal with the important
Right. Growing
the
his
day-to-day-
business.
Yeah.
Right.
Gaining more exposure, meeting more people, closing more business.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have somebody, and you can think of her as him or her, but we're mostly hers, just
Okay.
saying. But let's just say, you know that you can trust this individual to really support you and to make sure there's no fires, to
Right.
continue to support your workflow, making sure that all the plates that are spinning are continuing to spin while you're out growing your business.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So, but back to your question, 5 hours a week, then the starting rate is right around $800 a month or so.
Okay.
Okay. And the thing to realize too is that we are a business expense to you,
Right.
so there are no additional. I mean, we try to make it very easy. X
Right.
number of hours per week, flat monthly rate.
Right.
So of course.
No
The relationship.
surprises.
That's correct. No. Oh, by the way, I put in 30 hours this month instead of whatever. We don't want a one-off bill for that. We very much want to help you stay either within the contracted hours, and we will help you prioritize your workload as we get to understand what your priorities are.
Right.
How do we help you prioritize your workload with the VA? Or we have a conversation about saying, what else do we need to
Right.
do? Do we need to grow this relationship? And then what you would do is basically grow up or take that next step, that next increment, and add another 5 hours. We
Sure.
do everything in 5-hour increments.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And like let's say I'm starting up, but I don't know. Like I'm lost from the gate. I don't know what I'm doing. Do you guys sort of help
That
me
seems
figure
like
out what's wrong?
That seems like a great place for the coaching to start.
Yeah, exactly. So I like to say, don't worry about it because we'll help you build that airplane as we fly it.
Okay.
And that's really just kind of, observing. We know the pain points, kind of an overused word there, but we all have them,
Right.
right? We
Yeah.
know the pain points of the startup, of an entrepreneur, and we can make those recommendations as to where we should start. If you
Okay.
really don't know, I can tell you now. I mean, I've been doing it a while. So, but yeah, so that's exactly what we would do, is really identify those areas that we can provide the support, streamline that, button you up, and then move on to what is the next opportunity.
Right.
Gotcha.
And I feel like this blankets almost like any kind of business that anyone's trying to start, right? You guys can do anything.
Yeah, we serve a lot of people in the IT space, so which is part of the reason why we're here, the technology space.
Right.
We serve
Because
a
there's
lot.
certainly a lot of technology here.
oh my gosh, it's intimidating to walk through the aisle. I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Got my phone, I got to Google that. What does that acronym mean? So
Acronyms.
but absolutely, I mean, we do serve a lot of people in this space, which of course is why we're here, but we also serve a lot of authors, speakers, coaches.
Oh, nice.
We work a lot with pastors, nonprofits. So we're not specific to a vertical market. But anybody, even again, that is sort of that individual that travels a lot, that doesn't need a 40-hour-a-week person sitting in the office, they're virtual. I mean, if you travel all the time, you're virtual.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we're a good solution for that type of individual as well.
That's awesome.
Two things are going around in my head at the same time. One, as an entrepreneur myself, to have grown to where we are, was
A lot of work.
there have been some bumps in the road. There have been some people that have had to have been purged. There have been, and anytime those purges have happened, it has caused trouble, in particular for the two of us. It adds work for myself and for Michelle, who kind of we're the ones that keep the plates spinning.
Right.
And we occasionally pass those plates off to these three and a couple of other people in our group. But I can totally see where the occasional, couple hours a week
Would be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, in addition to this, because I'm insane and don't like to sleep, I also own a software company. So, our website is the worst thing in the world because you never have time to focus on it because you're
Right.
always dealing with operations. So, so having somebody who can do some copywriting every once in a while, that kind of thing. The value of that, if you've not been in this space, the value of that is unbelievably high. And
Yeah, no doubt. You've hit on a couple things there. First of all, when you're dealing with people, and as an entrepreneur, as you're growing and you're staffing, you've made a bad hire or two.
or partnership.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and because you get into that growth mode and you've got to have somebody, and you go straight to the fire. We got to put out the fire. So you take the first person that's available at the right price. And a lot of times that's not a good fit. So
Right.
what we do is go through a very intentional placement process. It does take about 2 weeks for us to even place you with a VA
Sure.
or a content writer or a bookkeeper
Sure.
or a webmaster. But we do look at the hard skills needed to support you, and then we also look at soft skill. We do feel like that's equally important.
Right.
And so I could do everything you technically want, but if you do not like me,
Yeah, but if you and I don't get along,
Right.
this isn't going to work.
no, we're not going to last. We're
Obviously,
going to have to break
you and
up.
I get along just fine. But in theory, if you and I didn't get along, nothing's going to get done.
Right.
Because I'm not going to want to talk to you to give you the things that need to be done.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. So we want to make that placement that works
Yeah.
from all perspectives. Really kind of take a holistic approach to placing and getting
Sure.
that right person for you. Not only so that you feel impacted, but hey, the person that's serving you, they're going to be successful because we're going to be looking at, are you a good client for that VA? Right? So it's a
Right.
two-way match.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and then the other thing is, the skills. Like you say, okay, if you have a WordPress website and you could just say to your VA, look, I need to update this website, or WordPress just came out with another update. Let's make sure all the plugins are working accurately. That's something that, that's on her checklist to do once a month, twice a month, whatever that takes. So this is something that you would delegate to her. That becomes her responsibility.
Got it.
Wow.
And it just comes off your plate entirely.
Yeah,
One less plate you've got to keep in the air.
exactly.
Let somebody else hold it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It is.
I really like that. So if people want to find out more about your service and to get in contact, how can they do that?
You can come to the booth. No, Belay Solutions with an S, belaysolutions.com is our website. So on the website you can get a great idea for all of the service lines as to what we do, how we do it. You'll get a great idea of the why behind what we do.
That's good.
Super important to us.
And should be important to the people buying as well. The why is always important to me. It's part of why we do the show. The why is always important.
Yeah, exactly. We're passionate about leaders. and we're passionate about VAs, and we're passionate about giving people options, right? So
Wonderful.
yeah, but Belay Solutions, and then of course from there you can fill out a web form, and then you would be contacted by one of our solutions consultants just to kind of talk through, are we a fit for each other?
Right.
What do you need? You know, what are your criteria? What's going on in your world? So that's what we do. That's where we start.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to
Thank
come
you
talk
very
to
much.
us today.
My pleasure.
Great
My pleasure.
product, and I love the new branding.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Belay on, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
Have a
Thanks
good
for
one.
having me. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Thank you.